Salina Bookshelf, founded in 1994, is an independent publisher of multicultural materials, which includes textbooks, children's picture books, children's chapter books, informational texts, reference books, audiobooks, and language learning materials. We specialize in dual language books in Navajo and English and Hopi in English, as well as textbooks used to teach Navajo language in schools. Authentic depictions of Navajo life, both contemporary and traditional, are portrayed throughout the entire collection of materials offered. These resources have broad appeal in classrooms, adult centers, libraries, and homes to teach the Navajo language and culture. The Diné Bizaad Bínáhoo'aah Rediscovering the Navajo Language series is comprised of a textbook, a correlated workbook, and a teacher's edition. Let's hear a bit more from the author of the series, Dr. Evangeline Parsons Yazzie.
Yat meaning hello or greetings. My name is Dr. Evangeline Parsons Yazzie. I taught the Navajo language, culture, and history for 24 years at Northern Arizona University. The photographs you will see within this presentation are some of the ones that appear throughout our Navajo language textbook. For the textbook, I purposely selected pictures of old Navajo life and ones of recent Navajo life so as to reach out to 3 generations of Navajo people, which are the students, their parents, and their grandparents and elders. I come before you to represent our Navajo language textbook titled Diné Bizaad Bínáhoo'aah, Rediscovering the Navajo Language, a textbook which I co-authored with Dr. Margaret Spies, a linguist with whom I had been working for 13 years when the writing of the textbook began. I am proud to state that I am the primary author of our textbook. The communicative approach is the methodology I chose to guide the writing of our textbook. The communicative approach was developed by D.A. Wilkins, a British linguist, around 1972. There are many components to the communicative approach. Here are but a few. First, communicative competence is a goal of the communicative approach. Second, this approach addresses all 4 language skills, which are listening, speaking, reading, and writing. And with this approach, language and communication are integrated. I was working on my master's degree in 1989 when I came across the communicative approach. At the time, I was studying various language teaching methods. I was so excited to come across this approach because the communicative approach is similar to the way a language is successfully transmitted from parent to child and from grandparent to grandchildren. The communicative approach is further learner-centered, experience-based, and the language that is produced is based upon trial and error, where the teacher models the correct pronunciation or the correct speech when mistakes are made. The communicative approach further advocates that students learn language that is authentic. It also advocates providing students with opportunities to use the language for real communication purposes. The communicative approach also advocates that the production of language should be based upon situations, in our case, historical and cultural situations. It further maintains that mistakes are a natural part of communication. In our textbook, we have embedded the communicative approach in each chapter in the following ways. The first section of each chapter contains a section based on Navajo history, followed by cultural information on the specific topic of the chapter. The historical and cultural contents were what dictated the words, phrases, and sentences that are introduced in chapters 5 through 30. The Navajo language is a verb-based language. That means verbs are extremely important to syntax or making sentences. Here you see what is called a verb conjugation model. We introduce all of our verbs throughout the textbook using this model because it introduces the student to the many forms of the verbs that state who is doing the action, how many people are doing the action, and the tense of the verb, past, present, or future. In this verb conjugation model that appears in this slide, we are introducing the verb yinishye, I am called, or my name is.
The Diné Bizaad Bínáhoo'aah, Rediscovering the Navajo Language textbook provides a verb-based introduction to the Navajo language for college and secondary students. Students are introduced to the Navajo sound system and the Navajo writing system. Clear explanations of vocabulary and grammar provide students with a solid foundation for building communication skills. Through readings, photos, and writing exercises, students broaden the knowledge of geography, history, and culture. The Diné Bizaad Bínáhoo'aah, Rediscovering the Navajo Language correlated workbook includes writing activities that build upon Navajo reading, writing, and speaking skills. These activities correlate to all 30 chapters inside the textbook. The Diné Bizaad Bínáhoo'aah, Rediscovering the Navajo Language Teaches Edition CD-ROM includes everything you see inside the textbook, as well as some extra features, including notes for the teacher, goals and objectives before every chapter, and many more features that will help aid in teaching. We here at Salina Bookshelf wish you the very best in your learning and teaching endeavors. Thank you.